And welcome back one and all to the Pictou County Wellness Center. As this presentation, a part of the Nova Scotia U15 Major Hockey League in partnership with High Button Sports. I'm your host, Brendan Maloney, for this contest. It's always great to be in Pictou County, see some great local talent as we get set for this matchup as the Rage take on the Bombers. And the second place seeded in the regular season team are the Wellwell Bombers, with a record of 22-5 in the regular season against the Harbor Rage, 11th place in the league standings to start the playoffs, going 2-26. This is a best 2 out of 3 series. Game 2, the Bombers, with a routing of the Rage in game 1 at a score of 8-1, have a chance to sweep them in this series and advance to the provincial championship, which will be held in Dartmouth later this month. Later in April, rather. As we are off and running here, Rage gain possession here. Hard collision there to start things off as the physical play becomes a factor early. Anderson trying to hold the line and gain possession of that puck here for the Bombers. As Mayo gets in, tries to center it in front, picked off as Bowden moves it back. Backhand feed off the wall. Move to neutral ice. Here come the Bombers the other way. Nice move to the inside. Here's a chance shot. Save made with the blocker by Gould. Another shot goes wide. Bombers on the attack early here. Dumped into the corner. Swept. Picked off there. As the Rage off the wall to neutral ice. Here comes Grace. Connor Grace. Moves in, nice move, slides it across, unable to get the shot away was Little. Cohen Little led the team in scoring with 64 points in 30 games played in the regular season as that one skated out. Simon chasing it down. Couple hacks and whacks there by Simon. Here comes the chance now, Little skating in. Shoots it to the front, a chance there, and unable to corral it in time was Bowden. Out to neutral ice. Bombers reset. Give and go defensively here as they to set up the play. Brabant gains possession here for the Rage. Knocked off the puck. Here's a chance. In front of the net. Shot there off the blocker and wide. Partial deflection in front as Arsenault got a stick on that. Simon. Up for the Rage. Here they come down the wing, try to chip into the zone. Hard check there on the wall. Here come the Bombers the other way. Moving out with a nice move, stopping up, dropping it off. Here's Grace. Grace with a spin move, unable to get the pass away. In front of the net shot. Save made. Does that look to be blocked partially by Norris? Cycled in the corner there. Goaltender Mason Gunn stops that up for his defense. As Cormier puts it off the backboards to Grace. Grace, lead feet ahead, chipped into the zone by Frazier to avoid the icing call. Frazier on the forecheck. Collision there on the wall. Hard check there as well. Bodies flying everywhere here in the first. Oh, and a collision between two Rage players as Carroll went down. Moved across. Looking to set it up at the point. Nice shimmy and shake. Dropped off to the point. Drive from distance, blocked aside by Gould. Still loose in front here. Hack and whack loose again. Another save, rebound chance, stopped by Gould as well. Great pressure here by the Bombers. Another shot from distance, that's blocked. Hops up inside. Great pressure to start this first period of play by the Wherewell Bombers. Hometown crowd coming out to support their local hockey. There's that one taken here. Brett Cormier, lead pass ahead, picked off by Dando. Lucas Dando drops it off. Here's a chance, moving in and taken away there by Bowden. Ty Bowden. Whitmore. Collision there. Here comes Cormier. Cormier ringing it off the wall. Picked up here by the Rage. Brabant. Saucer pass across the open side. Fire into the corner there by Dando. Miles McDaniel. Trying to move that puck. Lost, left it behind. Here come the Rage now. Centering feet in front. There's a shot. Just whistles past the glove hand side of Gunn. Out to neutral ice. Intercepted. Here comes Swain. Dropping it off. Here's the chance. Little in. Shot. Save made. Gould. Rebound chance is still loose and finally covered by Gould for the whistle. One action here in the first period of play. Face off, one back to Grace. Grace centering feet in front. Anderson couldn't get a stick on that. Gathers it in though. On the far side, dropping it off at the cycle play. Switching places, quick drive, glove down by Gould for the whistle. Defensive unit change for the Bombers here. As Cormier and Matatal come on the ice. Cormier. Shot from distance, just sails over top of the goal by about 6 inches. Off the backboard, Swain on it. Isaac Swain, hard collision there on the boards. That's going to be called. Carroll touches it up and the Rage will take the first penalty of the game. And it's a head contact penalty. As Hayden Trudell goes to the box for head contact. So the Bombers, an opportunity to open the scoring here on the power play. Colin Little on the draw for the Bombers. Up against Austin Crawford. Wins the draw. Moved across. Shot there through traffic is blocked. Knocked out of midair by Grace. Connor Grace. Saucer pass across. Bombers set up the play. Moved across far side. Looking to find McDonald. Jackson McDonald leaves it there for Bowden. Bowden ahead for Whitmore. Whitmore moves it behind the goal. Off the boards. Taken in by McDonald. Jackson McDonald moves it across. Open side. Shot there off the goal post. Deflected. Beat Gould cleanly after the deflection. Here comes McDonald again. Another shot. Save made by Gould. Bombers setting up the play well here. Good puck movement here. Another chance in front. Looking to bank it in. There's another shot. That one blocked as well. Backhand feed in front. Still loose. Finally fired out by the Rage to kill some time on this penalty. As Mason Gunn stops it up for his defense. Connor Grace. Saucer pass off the wall. Anderson. Move back. As Cormier has to retrieve that now for the Bombers. Cormier weaves his way through neutral ice. Moves it ahead. Dropped off. Saucer pass across there, unable to catch the tape in the wheelhouse. Back on the point it goes. Shot by Cormier, blocked it aside by Gould as it's into the corner again. Great cycle here. Finally clear out of the zone. Just 15 seconds to go in the Bombers' power play. They have to get it up the ice quickly if they want to capitalize here on the man advantage. Brett Cormier. Time winding down the power play. Cormier, nice dipsy-do. Taken away from the puck. The near side wall moved ahead. Price, dipsy-doos. Knocked off it momentarily. Worked into the corner. Cormier. Moved ahead. Nice move here. In comes Anderson. Tried to dipsy-do towards the goal, unable to do so. On to the point. Moved across to Grace. Connor Grace. Tries to seeing eye pass there, but Price blocked it. It's still in the corner though, as the Rage head to their own zone here. Here they come now. Bryce Carroll moves it across. Here's a chance for McLaughlin. Quick drive. Loose in front. Picked up here by the Bombers. Out they come. Nice touch play ahead for Bowden. Ty Bowden down the wing. Holds on the backhand. Below the goal line. Tries to drop it off. Intercepted momentarily by Mayo. Off the wall. Just escapes out to neutral ice. Left there for Fraser. Reed Fraser dumps it into the corner for the dump and chase effort as Carroll retrieves that. Tries to find Trudell. Carroll in the corner. Saucer pass ahead, and that one's blocked by the Bombers defense. Picked off here by the Rage. Here they come in there. Pass in front of shot. Save made. It's loose in front. It's still loose. And cleared away. Close call there for Gunn. As here comes Bowden with it now. Bowden 1-on-2. Knocks Trudell down to the ice. Brabant with it now. Bombers gain possession. On the point, Grace. Grace waits, takes, and hit that off the blocker. Still pops up below the goal line as it's picked up now by the Rage. Mayo looking to clear. Almost given away momentarily here. As that one taken by Chevrolet. And then Chevrolet dumps it in for the Rage as it's stopped up behind the goal by Gunn for his defense. Connor Grace, lead feet ahead. Finds Bowden. Ty Bowden trying to dump into the zone. That one picked off. Rage trying to clear the zone. Picked off. Out to neutral ice. Loose puck. Simon looking to dance. Weaves his way through. Nakai Simon a quick drive, and that one sails over top of the goal. Oh, a hard collision with the wall there as physical play starts to ramp up in the first. Another hard check by Cormier that time. Adam Matatal. Hounded by two Rage forecheckers. Swain drops it off for Little. Here it comes Little, leading point getter for the Bombers. Dropped off a chance. The shot there is blocked. Great block by Simon. Moved across for the Rage now. Here comes Arsenault. Dumps it into the corner. Just gets a quick change here for the Rage. Bombers lead pass ahead. That's going to be an icing call here against the Bombers. With 5:11 remaining in the first period of play. Landon Chevrolet on the draw for the Rage. Up against Cohen Little. Feet in front, blocked off. Here come the Bombers. Moved out. Across to Swain. Finds Little. Little a shot. He sailed that over top of the goal. Here come the Rage now. Moving out. It's Mayo. Trying to get past Swain. He dumps it into the corner. Bombers looking to get it out of the zone here. Saucer feet ahead. Finds Anderson. Anderson a shot. He scores! Spencer Anderson opens the scoring for the Bombers with a wicked wrist shot over the glove hand side of Gould. And the hometown crowd erupts in applause here. And you felt like the dam was about to break for Colson Gould as Bombers were throwing quite a bit of heat his way to start that first period. Always important in those elimination games to get that opening goal, and they've done so far. Another shot there blocking aside by Gould into the corner. Hard collision there. Dando on his own goal, drops it off. Crawford trying to clear. Taken away. Saucer across. Cormier drive, sail over top. Down the ice it goes. Matatal picks it up. Adam Matatal. Bank pass off the wall all the way down. Brabant picking it up. Backhanded out to neutral ice. Here come the Rage the other way. Chipped into the corner. Nice shimmy and shake by Connor Grace as he skates up with it now. Number 6 for the Wellwell Bombers dumps it into the corner. After it is McDonald. Finds Reed. McDonald. Oh, what a save by Gould. As a cross-ice seam pass. He had to be athletic on that one to make the save. Here come the Rage the other way. Skate to stick move, dumped into the corner. Stopped up by Gunn off the wall. Finds McIntosh. Stopped up, another shot, save made, rebound chance, cleared away as Price was looking to get that rebound bid and strike home. Here comes Ryan Ross down the wing. Moving his way through, tries to make a move on the defense there as he's checked by Carroll and knocked to the ice. Another hard collision in the corner. McIntosh took the body, swoops it into the corner. Finds Cormier. Or rather Reed on the forechecking effort. We're going to get a cycle play established here. Are the Bombers moved ahead. Here comes White down the wing for the Rage. Swoops it in front. That's knocked away. Grace off the wall to the point. Held in by Mayo. Mayo a drive blocked in front by McDaniel. Off the wall and out it goes for the Bombers. Foot race forward here. Ross tries to get ahead. That's going to be an icing call here against the Bombers. Austin Crawford steps up to the plate for the Rage. Down the ice it goes, almost a chance. Unable to advance it. Gunn stops it up. Back around it goes for McDaniel. Miles McDaniel. Slows pace down, looking to set it up. Fires it down to Little. Across. Here's a chance. Shot save made by Gould on that quick release by Frazier. Face off once again in the offensive zone here for the Bombers. Taking off the draw, Brabant looking to clear. Onto the point, quick drive by Whitmore, smothered and held by Gould. So draw picked up here, looking to clear the zone. Brabant drops it back. Intercepted by Little. Cohen Little. Pass across there for Anderson is picked off. Whitmore trying to move it across. Picked up here. In skates Cormier, dropping it off, picked off. Back into the zone it goes. Carroll on the reception. Off the glass and stopped up at the point by Swain. Swain trying to keep it alive. Swain drops it off. On the point Whitmore. Back down low for the cycle. So the minute remaining now. Here's a chance. A shot saved made by Gould. Another chop shot. It goes behind the goal. Has worked in the far corner. Cormier jumps up. Centering in front. Picked off by Mayo. Here comes Mayo. Firing it on goal, forced to make a blocker save into the netting was Mason Gunn. 44.2 left on the clock here in the first. Face off in the offensive zone here for the Rage. McPhee on the draw. Bombers off the wall and out. Norris chasing it down. He gets checked. Frazier trying to avoid that offside. Unable to do so. Didn't wait long enough. As that'll be brought back. Face off just outside of the Rage zone in neutral ice. Bombers win the draw, moved on the near side to Grace. Grace fires it on goal. Forced to make the save was Gould. Carroll spins off a check. Tries to chip it off the wall, unable to get it out. Bombers still on the attack. Frazier moves it across. Shot from distance, save made by Gould. It's still loose. Worked into the corner now. There's 5 seconds to go. Bombers behind the goal, dying seconds of the first. And that'll do it for the first period of play. 1-0 for the Bombers after one. And a short break here before we commence with the second. Very short break. And is that a short enough break for you here, folks? We're getting ready now for the second period of play. Face off at center ice. Cormier off the draw, moves it across. Fired down the ice for an icing call to start things off against the Bombers. Picked up off the wall. Dando holds the line. Pass in front goes wide. Rage on the attack. Worked on the wall, trying to work that puck loose. Arsenault after it, he gets checked. Bombers with a touch play ahead for Ross. Taken away by Simon. Ross drops it off for his defense in Matitol. Lead pass ahead, chipped out over the line. That one fired into the zone. Miller. Look in the corner. Oh, a hard check there. Simon got the better of his man on that one. Oh, another hard collision there. As Anderson took the body. Grace looking to move it ahead. Oh, a hard collision there. Here's a chance shot, score! It's Anderson once again, his second of the game. And the Bombers lead it 2-0. Goodness gracious. Rage near side for Carroll. Carroll trying to make a move. Left the puck behind. Bombers move it ahead. On to the point, Grace. Moves it down low. Another shot, save made by Gould. He holds on. A face off in the offensive zone here for the Bombers. On to the point. Here they come again, centering in front. Picked up on the point by Whitmore. Down deep for Little. Cohen Little. Trying to start a cycle here. Take a free. Little a shot off the mask of Gould. Shakes that one off. McPhee unable to win that battle in the corner against Little. Little cycles it deep for Reed. Reed centering feed in front. Chopped out there. Blocked off and taken in possession of by Carroll. Bryce Carroll, the Rage captain, unable to clear there. Still in their own zone with the Rage. The wall to the point. Kept alive by the Bombers. In deep. Feed in front of shot. That one fanned on there. Another chance. Another shot goes wide. Whitmore. Drops it off for Grace. Connor Grace. Weaves his way through. Waits and shoots and sailed that one over top of the net. McIntosh on the forecheck. Taken in by Brabant. Makes a move. Avery Brabant dumps it into the corner here. Stopped up by Gunn. Cormier behind his own goal. Bank pass off the wall. Intercepted by Dando. Dando looking to find Chevrolet. Cormier spins it ahead. Here comes McDonald. Jackson McDonald. Nice move to the inside. Knocked off the puck there. Works in the corner now. McDonald intercepts. Here he comes. They battle in the corner here. Pass in front. Another shot. Blocked in front. On the point of drive. All the way through. Covered and held by Gould for a whistle. Face off in the offensive zone once again here for the Bombers. Off the draw on the point. Or top of circle rather. Here comes Dando looking to weave his way through. Lucas Dando. Drops it off to Simon. That guy Simon trying to get it towards the goal. Follows up with a healthy body check in the corner. Crawford off the point. Into the play. Sipping out of the point. Dando corrals it. Holds on, shoots. He sailed that one past the blocker side. Rage with some pressure now. On from the point. Shot from distance. They made a chance. They score! And the Rage pull within one. And a rebound in front. And look out. It looks like it's Joshua Arsenault who's going to get credit for the goal here on that rebound in front of the net. And they'll need more capitalization just like that as the shots are 24-4 in favor of the Wellwell Bombers thus far. They want to make good on the performance of Colson Gould in goal for the Rage. Has been standing on his head throughout this game so far. Another shot there in front. Covered up by Gunn as the net has got off the moorings here. On to the point. Shot from distance all the way through. Patted aside by Gunn. Mayo trying to sweep it in front. Here come the Bombers. 8 feet ahead. Frazier moving in. Frazier holds on. Shoots. That's blocked. White drops it off for Carroll. Bryce Carroll. Pass on the far side. Looking to spring Mayo. Intercepted by the Wherewell defenders. Matito. Or McDaniel rather. McDaniel moves wide, sweeps it ahead. Ross down the wing. Side steps. Ross holds on, sweeping it in front. Intercepted by Chevery, looking to clear it. We're on to the point. Grace, side steps. Nice move by Grace, a shot, and he sailed that over top of the goal. All the way down it goes. It's picked up, we're going to get it up the ice again. Move back across to Grace. Move back up. Here comes Bowden. Bowden waits, shoots, and he sailed it over top of the goal again. We're going to pick those corners. Is that one in the front of the net? Frazier finds Little. Little, nice dipsy-do, unable to corral it for a shot. On to the point. Chip play into the corner. Little after it now. Here come the Rage. On to the far side. A collision there between number 27s. Does move ahead, a shot. Save made by Gould. He holds on. And plenty of offensive capabilities here for the Wherewell Bombers, but Colson Gould has been standing tall in goal for the Rage. Already 25 shots sent his way. He's stopped 23 of them thus far. Here comes a chance for Donaldson breaking in. Donaldson unable to get the shot away. As the Bombers move out with it. It's Cormier. Cormier moving wide. Holds on. Stops up. Looking for an option here. Trying to sweep it out front. It's off the side of the goal. Looking to bank it here. It's loose in front. Finally covered by Gould for the whistle. Another offensive zone draw here for the Bombers. On to the point. Cormier moves it ahead. Picked off here. Dando moving out. Fires it from distance. Patted aside by Gunn. Crawford. Trying to spin it in front. Picked off here. Out comes Cormier once again. Drops it off for Anderson to drive. That one blocked. Picks it up again. Anderson to Little. Little drops it off for Cormier. Cormier a shot. That one partially deflected as Anderson gets a hold of it now. Already got two. Anderson onto the point. Cormier back into the corner. Brabant checked. On the point. Shot from distance. Sticked aside by Gould. Brabant up against Miller. Miller takes the body on him. Crawford. Austin Crawford. Drops it off for Brabant. Back for Crawford just out of his reach. Fired back in by Whitmore. He took a hit there. It's in the near corner. Taken away by the Rage. Unable to clear still. That's in front of shot by Anderson. Sailed that over top. Allen clear into the zone. Reed after it. Shoots it behind. Here's McIntosh in the corner. Spins off. Down below for Reed. Reed trying to cycle. Got two defenders on him. Here comes Crawford up the wing. Trying to chase it down. Muscled off the puck by McDaniel. Outlet play. Down the wing comes McDonald. Jackson McDonald. Drops it off. McIntosh lays the body there. McDonald moves it across. Dropped off on the point. Quick drive all the way through. Glove down by Gould. He gets the whistle here. 11:34 left to play in the second. Once again, another offensive zone draw here for the Bombers. On to the point. Right downside. One-timer in front. Glove down by Gould once again. Ryan Ross on the draw. Taken by Swain. Isaac Swain in the corner for Ross. Ross below the goal line spins off a check. Off the wall to Cormier. Cormier steps in. Holds on. Trying to sweep it in front. Blocked by Carroll into the corner. Now comes Bowden. He gets checked. Rage desperate to clear here. Mayo. Trying to sweep it out front. Still in the zone. Carroll spins off a checks. Odds across to Mayo. Mayo hounded there. Ross trying to get a stick on that. Looking out to neutralize. Not at all. Down the ice it goes. Norris chasing it down. That's going to be an icing call here against the Bombers. McPhee on the draw. Up against Ross. Looking in the corner. Centering feed. Picked off. Here comes Ross now. Moving in wide. Ross. Sweeps into the corner. Drops it off. There's a chance below the goal line for the Bombers. Is spinning with it is Bowden. Trying to put it in front. Bowden. On to the point. Grace with a nice backhand feed to Swain. Saucer pass across to Whitmore. Whitmore back down low. Up top for Grace. Tried to kick a shot. He fanned on it, but he drops it off to Little. Swain holds the line. Great pressure once again on display by the Bombers. That finally gets out of the zone. The Rage trying to block everything they can on the way to the goal. It has been all Bombers here in the second. Going Little on the draw. It's a back. Grace, nice dipsy-do. Shot, pad save by Gould. Looking in the corner. Brabant turning with it. Tries to find McLaughlin on the wall. Unable to clear the puck. Little. Saucer feet across. Just great vision on the ice by Colin Little. Knows where everyone is. Here's a chance. Grace, nice move. Grace, a shot. Save made by Gould. Rebound chance is still loose in front. Unable to pull the trigger there was Anderson. Moving across. Whitmore. Drive off the blocker. Shaft of the stick, rather, of Gould. Is a bit of puck luck there for the goaltender. Off the wall and out. Whitmore moves it across. Here comes Grace once again. Connor Grace. And they move to the inside. Drops it off. Shot. Saved made by Gould. He covers and holds on. Jackson McDonald on the draw. On back to the point. Swept in the corner for McIntosh. Clayton McIntosh spins off a check. Moves wide. So, a wraparound chance there. Close call for Gould as McIntosh gets into the mix there. Some gamesmanship here taking place in the second. McDonald once again on the draw, up against Chevrolet. And some equipment adjustment here for Colson Gould here. Looks like he's adjusting the pad. All seems right as rain for Colson Gould as it's set up again. All right, collision on the wall. Oh, hard check there as well. That's going to be called here. As Gould is going to go off the ice for the delayed penalty. Cross-checking penalty going, I believe it's against McIntosh. He's going to go to the box for cross-checking. And so a power play opportunity here for the Harbor Rage. Chance to tie the game. In what has been a lopsided contest, at least statistically in the shot column so far, but still a one-goal hockey game. 2-1 is the score, and now the Rage with an opportunity on the power play. Look out. Mayo off the wall. Carroll on the point, moves it across. Feet in front, what a stop! Rebound chance is still loose! They bang away! Chaos in front. Another feed in front. What a close call there for Mason Gunn as the Rage came close to tying it right there. Carroll moved across. Gotta worry if your goaltender to get cold in there as when your team is all over the opposition and every shot gains a little bit more pressure with it the longer your team is in the offensive zone. Dando off the wall, touch play ahead. Here come the Rage into the zone. Chevrolet, nice dipsy-do there. Good head fake, but he's knocked off the puck by Grace. Off the wall and out as Carroll has to retrieve it here for the Rage. Just 49 seconds left to go in the power play. Carroll spins off a check. Loose in front, here's a chance, sweeping away at it. Another chance is blocked aside. Short-handed bid there for the Bombers. Here comes Simon. Simon trying to sweep a backhand across for Arsenault. Off the wall, finally escapes the zone here. As Little chases it down against Brabant. Little in the corner. Sweeps it there. Here's a chance, moving in, shot, score! It's Spencer Anderson! And it's a hat-trick goal! Goodness gracious! 3 goals for Anderson. He's got all 3 for the Bombers. And another ripper of a snipe shot over the blocker side of Gould. Unbelievable. And they're throwing the hats on the ice in the corner here. All the way down the ice, Rage stop it up there as Gould leads the first defense. Back to even strength here, 5-on-5, as Brabant moves out with it. Brabant moves over the line. Nice move, dipsy-do. Holds on to it, trying to center it in front. He gets knocked down in the process. Here comes McIntosh. 2-on-1 with Ross. McIntosh a drive. Save made by Gould. Followed up by Ross. Ross spins off a check. Holds on. On to the point. Across. Whitmore. Shoots it. Cycles it for Ross. Going to continue the cycle here. On to the point, Grace. Grace spins. Holds on. Nice move by Grace. Moves wide. Holds on. Waits and shoots. And that one's deflected over top. Another chance in front. Rage still hemmed into their own zone here. Cormier turns. Sets it up. Has ahead. Nice touch play. Here's a chance. And on goal. Shot score! What a play! And McDonald finishes it off. And it's a 4-1 Bombers lead. They call that chemistry, folks. Each player knows where the other is. And they see an opportunity, an opening, they don't hesitate to find the right man for the job. And that one was Jackson McDonald on that play. As he had a little more open space on that right side. Coming in with a left-handed shot as in comes Carroll. Carroll moving in. Holds on, shoots. He sailed that off the blocker of Gunn. Good reactionary save there by the Bombers netminder. Mayo spins into the corner. Cormier. He gets checked. Mayo. Onto the point. Moved across for Carroll. Unable to corral it. Off the wall out to neutralize. Reset here for the Rage. Crawford trying to move it ahead. Crawford shoots. He scores! What a shot! Austin Crawford threads the needle there on that shot as didn't have much room and he picked the perfect spot in the corner for that one. So the Rage on the board now to make it 4-2. How many more snipes can one stream handle, folks? Goodness gracious. McDaniel. Off the backboards. As Little chips it in to his line mate as Reed dumps into the corner. Carroll on it. Here come the Rage trying to clear it. Oh, a hard check there. And Simon slow to get back to his feet. Here comes Carroll down the wing. Carroll with a move. He gets checked as well. Cormier. Pass across. Taken away by Dando. Knocked off by Grace. And Grace gets a stick slash out of his hands. And that's going to be whistled down. As the Rage protesting the call here. Simon will serve 2 minutes in the box for slashing here as the Bombers on the power play now. They've already been dangerous enough. They're running 5-on-5, but now with a 5-on-4 advantage. Cleared down the ice by the Rage to kill some time. Cormier. Here comes Ross. Ross skating in. Finds McIntosh. On the point, Cormier. Cross to Anderson. Back to Cormier, drive. He sailed that over top of the net. McIntosh chips it ahead. I continue the cycle here in the corner. Anderson. On the point. Cormier. Back to Anderson. Anderson holds on, waits, shoots, he scores! It's Anderson's 4th goal of the game to make it 5-2 for the Bombers. Every one of them's been a snipe for him. Unbelievable. 4 goals on the night for Spencer Anderson. Hold on, folks. There's still a whole other period left to go. And change. Unbelievable. Dropped off to Grace. Grace finds McDonald. Jackson McDonald moves in. 100 shot, rebound chance. They score again on the rebound. And the Bombers lead 6-2. Talk about an offensive flurry here near the close of the second. Taken by Carroll now. Carroll. Oh, a hard collision there. Gunn covers it up. And a skirmish in front of the net here. As Alani steps in to break it up. Crawford on the draw here for the Rage. Shot by Mayo is blocked. Off the glass, stopped up at the point. Cormier. Sweeps it off the near side wall. Little chases it down. Cohen Little. Moves wide, shoots it in front of the net. Save made by Gould. Anderson once again. Spins below the goal line, into the corner, onto the point. Cormier. Back down low, sweeping play in front from Little, trying to find Anderson again. Hard check by Anderson on the wall. Here's Anderson again, a shot, that one stopped. Rebound chance for Little, that one stopped as well. Here's Little, onto the point. Shot through traffic, stopped by Gould. Little again. Carroll, backhand feed for Mayo. Chops it out to neutral ice. Cormier spins off a check and fires it on neutral ice. Carroll on the reception. And we'll have an offensive zone draw here for the Rage. It looks like one of the Wellwell Bombers players goes to the box there. Carroll. Luckily that collision on the boards was the culprit for that penalty. As the Rage on the power play now. Brabant. 1:45 remaining on the man advantage. Just 35 seconds left in the period. Brabant spins. Holds on. Drops it off for Carroll. Carroll. Knocked off the puck by Ross. Finds McDonald. Jackson McDonald. Holds on. Spins. Banks it off the wall to Grace. Connor Grace. Fires it down the ice. Stopped by Gould. Drops it for Brabant. Just 3 seconds remaining here. And that'll do it for the second. A 6-2 Bombers lead heading into the third. And we'll have a short break for the Zamboni to flood the ice surface, and we'll be back shortly with the third period of play. Live on High Button Sports. Don't go anywhere, folks. And welcome back, one and all, to the Pictou County Motor Center for this third period of play between the Harbor Rage and the Wherwell Bombers. The Bombers put up a walloping 43 shots in the first two frames. They give themselves a 6-2 lead heading into the third. Taking off the draw, Grace drops it off for Cormier. Off the wall and out. Dando moves it for Carroll. Carroll. Inside, picked up here by McDaniel. Fires it to the zone. Of course, still some of that penalty to kill for the Bombers to start this period. 43 seconds left on the power play bid for the Rage as they come ahead with it now. Moving to the corner, Mayo. Hustling after it, spins it off the wall. Carroll has to chase it down. Dando's there first. Lucas Dando. Stops up behind his own goal, looks to set up the play here. Sasha feed all the way down for Chevrolet. And touched up enough to avoid the icing call. Another play in front, that one goes wide. Brabant. Into that, here's Ross now. Ross moves wide. In the corner. Crawford moves it ahead. Anderson chips it for McDonald. All the way down the ice. Chance to play it. No icing call. Cormier. Near side, moved across. Here come the Bombers now. Flying into the zone. Anderson trying to feed it ahead. On the point, Cormier chops it off the wall. Back down for Little. Colin Little. Knocked off the puck by Brabant. Moves across to Arsenault. Shipping it there for Norris. Moving out is Crawford. With that snipe earlier. Let's check there. Cormier holds on. On the ball, Little. Moves it ahead. Here's Little. Got Swain with him. Little a shot. Save made by Gould. Holds on for the whistle. Face off the offensive zone here for the Bombers. One to the point to Grace. Grace steps inside, shoots, blocked in front. Ross after it. Puck left behind. Worked in front. Here's a shot. That one goes wide. Worked below the goal line. Hard battle here behind the net. Ross. With possession now. On the point, Whittemore. Whittemore puts it in deep. For Bowden. Bowden trying to sweep it in front. Goes to the corner now. And taken away by Price. Price dances past the defense. Chops at it there. There's a body check to Grace. Whittemore. The wall fired in there by Bowden. Hard check on the wall there. Dando. Crawford trying to get a stick on that. Taken back here by the Bombers. Matatel moves into the corner. Fired back in by McIntosh. Brabant. Drops it off for Dando. Oh, a close call there. Dando gets a hard check in the corner. Matatel. Back it goes in for Brabant. comes a chance. Crawford unable to get past the defense. Grace. Connor Grace dumps it into the corner. Carroll on it. McIntosh there first. Drops it off. Nice move there. Moved across. Here's Miller back in front. Looking to find McDonald. McIntosh. Nice feed to McDonald. McDonald a shot. Save made by Gould. Comes Mayo up the wing. Trying to chip it into the zone. Picked off here. Carroll. Bryce Carroll. Stops up. Moves it ahead. Picked off by Grace. Connor Grace. Shoots it. Save made by Gould. Norris. Moves it ahead to Carroll. Intercepted there. Little. Sweeps it up front with a saucer feed. On the point now. Moves across. Mayo picks it off. Soft area pass. Looking to spring his man in White. White with a tangled up there with Matito. Moving ahead to Anderson. He's already got 4 goals. Anderson moving wide to the net. He shoots. Save made. Rebound chance in front. Looking for number 5 on the night. Here comes Anderson again. Off to the point. Sucked in the corner. Anderson. On the point, Whitmore. Moves it across. Drive by Cormier, deflected in front. Still loose. Rage still unable to clear. Whitmore on the point. Down low. Feet up top. Cormier waits. Feet in front, that one stopped. That's Little got a stick on that. Cormier on the point, Whitmore. Another shot there off the mask of Gould. He finds it and covers it for the whistle. Some skirmishes in front of the net. On the point. Shot from distance. Slipped in the corner. Crawford hauled down to the ice by Swain. Norris. He gets checked. Or he checks his man rather than Swain. Knocks him to the ice. Feed in front, a shot by Ross off the goal post. Relentless pressure once again on display by the Bombers. Another check in the corner. Simon. Going to work off the wall. Point shot goes wide. Ross. Back onto the point. Moving near side, Whitmore. Deflected in front. Sails over top. Ross. One hands it onto the point to Cormier. Back to Ross. Ross. Moves. Knocked by Carroll. Here come the Rage now. Moving ahead is Crawford. One hands it. Gets it back himself. Crawford waits and shoots. That one blocked. Price to drive. Stick aside there by Dunn. Shot there in front. That's blocked. Here come the Bombers the other way. Swain leaves it for Whitmore. Whitmore over the line. That one whistled down on the offside. Jackson McDonald on the draw for the Bombers. Bombers win the draw. Grace fires it over top of the goal. McIntosh. Swung around. Couple moves to the point by McDaniel. Swept back in the corner. Brabant chasing it down. Feet ahead. Looking for Price. Move far side for Dando. Lucas Dando. Crosser pass across for Price. Open side. Price. Shot. Stopped by Gunn. Back inside. Grace. Moves out of the zone. Grace. Crosser pass across. Feet inside. McDonald to the front. Grace a shot. Rebound chance off the side of the goal and into the netting for a stoppage in play. Off the draw, Matatal. Moves it in, Anderson. Across. Cormier drive, blocked aside by Gould. And here come the Rage. Coming out with it now. Stopped up by Gunn behind the goal. There's defense in Cormier. Cormier defends a hit. He's ahead, Carroll. Little. Little skates in, drops it off. Anderson. For Miller. Miller to the goal shot, score! It's Miller. And it's 7-2 for the Wherewell Bombers. Off the draw, Bombers gain possession. Move ahead for Ross. Ross moves wide past Dando. Skates in, sweeps it in front. That one goes wide. And here comes Norris. Feed across. In the corner. Whitmore on it. That one squeezes out into the defensive end for Crawford's reception here. Crawford holds on. We're going to set up a play here. Far side for Carroll. Bryce Carroll. Over the line, holds on. Drifts past the hit. Knocked off there, Whitmore. Kept alive by the Rage. Here they come. Rage moving in. Pass across, shot, save, made, rebound chance. That one goes wide. A big save there by Gunn. Simon moves it across for Brabant. Holds on. Back across for Carroll. Bryce Carroll, backhand feed off the wall. Trying to find Chevrolet. All the way on goal. Gould forced to make the save. Brabant in the corner. Up against McDonald. Jackson McDonald. Carroll. Checked by McIntosh. Hard check on the wall once again. Here come the Rage. Backhand feed in front. One goes all the way down the ice. Trudell. Finds Carroll. Trudell now. Moves ahead to Chevrolet. Chevrolet. Knocked down. Here comes Anderson. Anderson. And a move. Cormier. Swings it. Shot. That one goes wide. Face off in the offensive zone here for the Bombers. On to the point, Matatal. Drive from distance, looking to find Anderson in front. Back to Cormier, back to Anderson. Cormier a drive, saved by Gould, rebound chance, cleared away. The ball kept alive by Cormier, down low. Little, finds Anderson a drive, and that one's stopped by Gould. Back on the point, Cormier. Sasha had Little, Anderson in the corner. Anderson lost his stick for a moment. Little turns with it. Near side held at the point by Matatal. Off the wall and out. Matatal resets here for the Bombers. Outlet play knocked off. Here's Little. To Anderson. Anderson a shot. Save made by Gould. Anderson looking for number 5 on that shot. Ryan Ross on the draw. On the point, shot by Grace. Glove save, Gould. Grace on the point. That's for Ross. Ross holds on. Down low. Back up top. Escapes the clutches of McDaniel. He has to skate it down. Worked off the wall. Hard check there. Here comes Chevrolet. Drops it off. Mayo looking to center it. Picked off by Miller. Drops it for Grace. Grace. Nice move by Grace. Holds on. Moves it across from McDonald. Jackson McDonald. Back for Grace. Back to McDonald. Feet in front. A chop shot there. That one stopped. McDonald again with it. Knocked down by Grace. Grace moves it across. Good active stick there by Norris. Taking it by Chevrolet. Landon Chevrolet. Moves it across for Mayo. In the corner. Miles McDaniel on it. Dando. Centering it in front. Here's a chance for Carroll to draw. That one blocked by McDaniel. Simon. Saucer pass across. Intercepted here. And that's an offside call. As McIntosh is in alone for a breakaway there. The number 19's coming together for the draw here. McDonald against Crawford. Carroll. Weaves his way through. Carroll. Intercepted by McDonald. McDonald. Oh, a hard check by Simon there. Looked to be a blindside hit. And a head contact penalty against Simon. So a power play opportunity now once again for the Wellwell Bombers. On the point, Cormier. Drops it for McIntosh, back across. Cormier for Anderson. Spencer Anderson. Gets it back, a shot there, he fanned on that one. Doesn't fan on many shots. Hard check on Norris there in the corner. Here's Cormier. Sauce it across for Anderson. Anderson chops into the corner for Miller. Miller for Ross. Ross holds on, waits and shoots. Save made by Gould. Here comes McIntosh now. Slides it for Sheds in front. One-time option there for Miller. Miller checks his man. Anderson. Bank pass off the wall. Moved across. McIntosh. Over across. Here's a chance. And that's blocked in front. As it was Spencer Anderson once again. Looking for the goal number 5. Brett Cormier. Moves across to Anderson. Anderson moves in. Holds on. Drops it off. Nice move there by Frazier. Keeps it off the wall. Swain trying to get a stick on that. McDaniel moves it across. Matito behind his own goal. There's 3 minutes and change remaining here in the third. And again is Frazier. Bumped by Carroll. Brabant. Off the wall. Swayed after it against McPhee. Chopped into the zone and all the way down the ice. Matito. Skates up through neutral ice. Here's Matito moving in. Shoots it. That one deflected by Brabant into the netting for a stoppage in play. Grace. Moved across. Here's Grace. Shot there. And here once again, Grace on the point. In front of the net, shots, score! It's Jackson McDonald, and it's 8-2. And looks like there's going to be an unsportsmanlike penalty here. And a misconduct against Lucas Dando. He's going to have to leave the ice surface. Swain dumps it into the corner. Carroll off the wall. Dando moves it, or excuse me. Mayo moved it ahead. Here's a chance. Chevrolet drops it off. Chevrolet onto the point. Cross for Carroll. Carroll shoots it in front of the net. Chance for White there. Chevrolet again. Mayo drops it off. Feet in front, that's walked away and moved out to neutralize. Trudell. Chevrolet. That one taken away by McDaniel. Miles McDaniel. On the near side. Moved ahead, Chevrolet a drive. That one was over the top of the net. So minute 15 remaining here in the third. 8-2 lead for the Bombers. Well on the way to the Provincials later on in April. Chasing it down is McDaniel. McDaniel. Feet ahead. Morris. Across to a bend. Lance Crawford. Crawford gets his wheels churning and burning as he moves throughout the neutral ice. Crawford checked hard and knocked to the ice by Whitmore. What a hit that was. Goodness gracious. Here comes Carroll. Carroll moves it across. And Bourgoin unable to make a play on that. Whitmore, lead feet ahead. McIntosh to make a move there. Just 10 seconds to go here. On to the point, one more shot before the whistle blows. Gould rather makes the save. That'll do it here. The Wherwell Bombers complete the sweep of the Harbor Rage. And they'll win the series and move on to the provincials of the U15 Major League, taking place later in April. And both teams lining up at center ice to show their sportsmanship here. Well, certainly hard fought. Rage made it interesting early on, but once the Bombers got going, they didn't let up. On top of a 4-goal performance by Spencer Anderson to cap off an excellent season on the way back to the provincials once again for the Wherwell Bombers. And that'll do it for this broadcast, folks. Thank you all for tuning in. It's been Brendan Maloney from High Button Sports. We'll see you in the next one.